My name's Ben Wilson. I'm a designer at Sumo Digital Nottingham.
So Ben, talk about some of the challenges when making a co-op competitive racing game.
Because this is something that is so unique to like kart racing games and racing games in general, it was just coming up with the whole concept of like, okay, what does it mean to be a part of a team in a racing game? Like a lot of the assumptions that you would have if you were coming to like, making an action game or something, a lot of the kind of actions you would have with your teammates, we just couldn't do just because like racing format is so different. And so we had to come up with ways for, as you were racing, things that you could do frequently in the race to make it feel like you were actually like engaging with your teammates and had ways to help them out and ways for you to take advantage of them. And so like we had to come up with actions that you could do when you were next to your teammates, actions that you could do when you were kind of in close range, and then things you could do like if you like however far away you were from them. And making all of those things kind of usable together in combination and like providing enough opportunities for people to do them like regularly in a race that it felt like, okay, my teammates are important because they're benefiting me in this way, and it's not just like a gimmick that you never really interact with.
One of the things we noticed when I was playing was like you almost want your heavy character, the power, in front, so you want to carry him to the front because he gets the best wisp.
What another kind of plus of doing that is that like on the tracks where there are hazards on the track, you can have that guy plow through them without getting slowed down, and meanwhile he's providing you a slingshot route to follow where there's going to be nothing to slow you down. So he can go through the shortcut that has a load of barriers and clear the way for the rest of the team. And we noticed people picking up on things like that. Derek mentioned another version of that with the technique character, like bailing out somebody who's like trapped in the sand. We're really happy that people are kind of coming to pick up those little kind of synergies with different character types and synergies with just the team actions put together. So we noticed that people had started using the slingshot boost where they kind of trail behind a teammate and then timing that in just so that as they overtook their teammate, they also gave them a skin boost, so they both boosted instead of one person boosting. And like that's really cool to see. For me, the game holds up when people can like figure out their own strategies and stuff like that. So
you guys have multiple stats for each racer, top speed, acceleration, handling, etc. What does defense mean in this game?
So it's your resilience to getting hit by things, basically. The main thing that it changes is, say you get spun out by something, it's how long you're out for. So if you have a high defense character, they are not going to be spun out for long before they can get going again. So that's the main thing.
Yeah, so you guys have a lot of the item boxes in your game are called Wisp, and you guys have a variety of them. Some of them are, cart staples, homing rockets, that sort of things. But you also have some unique ones. Can you go into some of those more unique Wisp we've never seen before?
Yeah, so the Quake is solving a problem that a lot of people have with kart racing games of like, oh, I got hit by the super power. I'm just gonna say the blue shell, but it has a purpose in the race of like pulling. Yeah, it's pulling the person who's super far in front so that it's a more interesting race. But rather than kind of going that direction, we made it into something that, okay, you can use that wisp and it will come up in front of the first player, but they have a set of hazards to dodge now, and that will slow them down because they're no longer able to just like go the fastest kind of line along the course, but they have an opportunity to kind of evade it if they are skillful enough, or if they have like, a wisp or an ability that will help them. And so being on the receiving end of that feels a lot more fair because you kind of had a fighting chance at it. We knew that like, okay, we'll need a certain number of offensive weapons, and some of them are just expected, like a homing rocket or whatnot. What else can we come up with that's interesting? So we have like a laser that is like a charged beam, and you have to hold it over another driver for it to spin them out. You have to hold it over them for, I think, half a second, which if the other person in front of you is swerving around, that's like easier said than done. But it creates an interesting like gameplay experience because like, you know, you yourself have to be paying attention to where you are on the track and not getting kind of hit by anything. So we've had a lot of fun adapting the kind of Wisp characters from the mainline Sonic games and figuring out like, okay, what does this Wisp do in a kind of racing context? Oh, figuring out like, oh, this one could be a homing rocket. That's cool. Yeah, so that's been a lot of fun.
You guys talk about your mod pods as well, like the kind of bonus items you have during the start of the match or passive abilities during the match.
The bonus boxes are, yeah, they're like consumable items that you just pick up over the course of play. Say you're playing through the Team Adventure story mode and you're having trouble on this one race. You can choose to use a item that will, say, start the race with a certain weapon or something, and it will just give you the edge at the start of the race. Or
boost. I saw a boost. I saw better traction, longer ultimate abilities, that kind of stuff.
Ultimate ability, stuff like that, and they're useful for either giving yourself a little bit of leg up in like a story mode race, or if you're playing with friends, when you apply one of those boxes, it will give it to each of the players. And so it's just like a fun variant if you kind of want to like play a race where everybody gets a certain kind of bonus.
Can you use it in online multiplayer?
For balance reasons, it's only usable in the offline modes.
And then talk about the amount of control you guys gave the player for custom races. We played a custom race where you had all item boxes be missiles, and you can do a bunch of different cool customization options.
Yeah, so we've provided, as well as the regular race types that you'll kind of see by default, we've packed in some fun variants. You've mentioned one of them. There's also ones where all of the Wisp pods are boost Wisp, which is actually my favorite one, to be honest, because like one of the things about transferring items that you pick up after like some play is that whenever you get a transferred item, it's always better than just one picked up, and
yeah,
so
it's the highest tier for your current place.
And so the way that manifests in a boost race is that instead of getting a single boost, it's a triple if you've got it from a friend. And so the thing that you want to do is when you pick one up, it's not use it, it's give it away immediately so that they'll be able to use 3, and then when you get one back, that will be 3. And yeah, a lot of strategy forming over, okay, I don't want to use this right now because it's going to be better when I get it back. And so yeah, there's also a mode where you've got to pick up as many rings as you can because it will speed you up, but there's also the weapon pods all hold the Void Wisp, which steals rings from other people, so you're kind of stealing rings off of each other and overtaking each other and kind of, yeah.
That sounds like a balloon mode I know from another game.
Yeah, it gets pretty wacky. It's nice to recontextualize all of those kind of weapons that we have like in the main mode into, you know, they all get their kind of, okay, this mode just focuses on this Wisp and kind of all of the like fun stuff you can do with that Wisp and kind of the interplay of, you know, all of that. So yeah, it's nice to provide that as an extra.
So when does your game come out and what platforms will it be on?
Team Sonic Racing comes out on May the 21st on PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch.